The world turns, and with each turn, a change. And each change makes it more complex, unpredictable, enigmatic. The world keeps turning. And from the Pellicer and Heredia practice, we anticipate everything that is going to happen. Brexit, artificial intelligence, new commercial borders, legal tech. The world keeps turning, and it commands the reliance on international lawyers who are capable of interpreting this new reality with integrity, honesty, and transparency, offering answers to so many new questions. Whatever it is, ask us. At Pellicer and Heredia, we know how.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today again on the Let's Inform You webinar that we're doing over and over the years. Today, we're going to talk about the new legal scenario for customs for non-European and British from the 1st of January 2021. If you might recall, we had our special guest, Manuel Samper, from a private customs agency in Alicante with a lot of experience in his life about it. And then now he just had a challenge with a new legal scenario for the non-European in Spain. Let me introduce you here today. I've got Manuel. Hello, Manuel, can you hear me?
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
We've got Richard Hill. Richard is the Vice President of Brexpats in Spain. Hello, Richard. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Ignacio.
We've got from the lawyer side, international lawyer Pedro Heredia. Hello, Pedro.
Hello, Ignacio. Good afternoon.
And later on, I think might be joining Michael Davies from Andalusia. Okay. Now, what I will be grateful if you could please start sending your questions about customs. I know we've been having a lot of them, especially Richard is been recovering more than 40 questions in his Facebook page. And we did send them to Manuel. Obviously, there is many. And a lot of people here are having problems or big surprises about having to pay for an import or export duty. We've got the privilege to have Manuel here. He's a specialist and a private agency office he's got in Alicante. And he's going to tell us today a little bit about what is the legal and tax situation with customs for non-Europeans in Spain. I'm going to pass over to Manuel. Manuel, over to you.
Thank you, Ignacio. As Ignacio has told, I'm Manuel Samper. I am custom broker. I have been working at custom for 20 years, and last 1 year and a half, more or less, I have been quite focused both with commercial deliveries to the UK or from the UK, and we have been working with individuals, and we know all the problems, all the lack of information, and all the misunderstanding all this year has happened. I am going to try to explain to you the general process, the general situation of all the dealing with the UK, talking always about goods, the moving of goods between the UK and Europe. I am going to try to explain you my experience, some problems that usually I have repeat every week or every month, to try to prevent you and to try to make things a little bit better and try to clear your mind about what are you doing, because there are some times that you can avoid paying duties or taxes, or pay as less as possible. Other times is not possible because nowadays the UK has left. It's a third country talking for Europe, and it's necessary to make a custom entry most of the times, and most of times too is necessary to pay some duties. And this misunderstanding has caused British people get upset with the custom officers sometimes, with the custom brokers other time, with courier and transport companies. Some of them are a mess doing the work because they are completely overworked. And not only because of Brexit, because it's not Brexit is not all at custom world. And I will explain that some problems you are thinking Brexit is guilty because of them are not really because of Brexit. They are because of some new processes, general processes for any country of origin of the goods that has get into force past year with traffic and deliveries made by courier or by post service. And we have a mixture. We have the perfect storm. I will explain later between Brexit and between the new processes the UE has set up for handling the courier and the postal deliveries. I am going to try to be as schematic as possible, and I will try to have the more time I can at the end of the meeting to attend all your doubts. Anyway, I have read the questions you have put through the Facebook, and I am going to try to solve them because all of them are around the same points. Okay. As you all know, from the 31 of December 2020, UK is not a European country anymore. So that means that all the deliveries going to UK or coming from UK to the UE are under custom processes, always. Some of them can be handled by simplified processes, and you really don't know or you don't notice that you are under a custom process. It's very typical example of the declare on something to declare or nothing to declare at the airport when you pass through the control of the police when you are arriving in Spain or other UE country. When you pass through the nothing to declare line, you are doing a custom declaration. When you pass through the line of something to declare, you are doing a custom declaration. When you pass with your car traveling through the Eurotunnel and you don't declare nothing, you are doing a custom declaration by conduct. Not written one, not electronically one, but by conduct one. I tell that because always the process is filled, and always you are making an export declaration at the UK and an import declaration at the UE. For some situations, there are simplifications that you really don't notice, but you always have that process behind all the process. I am going to show you a picture. I am going to share my screen with you. Here it is. When we have a general custom process, here in the figure, you can see a truck, but it can be done by truck, it can be done by airplane, it can be done by a courier company, or it can be done by yourself driving. But you always have the same steps. First of all, when it's not a non-commercial delivery, you have a commercial invoice raised from the UK. Always we need a document to show which goods are you carrying. If it is a commercial purchase, you have an invoice from your supplier. When you don't have it, custom usually asks you, and some of you have the experience because I have read in the Facebook, to make a relation of the goods, starting which goods are you carrying, stating the weight of the goods because they are necessary for the custom declaration, and stating the estimated value. What is difficult to point when you are carrying your own stuff or your home, and that's one of the problems we are facing, that people doesn't know how to evaluate their goods. For example, how much does cost my pair of used shoes? The new shoes can have a value of 150 euros, but used, new, but used, they don't have really a value. But anyway, customers you to give them a value. So usually it's very difficult to find. We will talk about this later. Once you have that, an export declaration at the UK is needed. That's the first custom step you have there. Sometimes you have a leave of custom declaration or an exemption of custom declaration. For example, when you drive with your car, you are making an export declaration by conduct. You are not making a paper custom declaration, but actually you are doing it. You are making when you pass through the custom. I want to pay your attention in one point of this, because most of you complain about paying import VAT here, the 21% import VAT here. Really, it's true. When you come into, you must pay the import VAT. If you can, if you don't can apply for one of the exemptions we will see later. But most people forget that you are VAT exempt at the UK. When you make a buying at the UK, you are paying VAT twice, because the VAT shouldn't be paid is the VAT at the UK. For example, if you buy a TV at the UK and you are going to export it, if you justify in front of your supplier or in front of who has sold to you your TV or whatever, that these goods are exported to the UE, they are VAT exempt there. And there are some processes for that. So sometimes the problem is paying the VAT twice, paying the VAT at the UK, paying the VAT again when you can into Europe, because you are paying the 20% at the UK and you are paying again the 21% at the Spanish border or any European border. That was one of the points that I wanted you to clear your mind about, that sometimes you can save, but not in the Spanish or European taxes, because you have to pay them if you don't apply for the exemptions. But in the UK, you can give your supplier the export document, or you can, in the invoice, there are usually at the airport, there is a process to stamp the invoices of your buyings to get recovered, to get refunded of that VAT. So that's a point you, when you were part of the European Union, you couldn't do, but now you can, as third country you are. Usually, the goods, if you are not traveling with your own car, you are working with a transport company, or you are giving a parcel to a courier company, or you are sending by post service, the goods are loaded in a truck, usually, sometimes in a plane, sometimes in a container, but mostly in a truck. And the transport company sends that goods to a hub at the UK. There they consolidate and they send your goods to the European Union. And always before all this, they have issued an export custom declaration. The goods cross the border. When you are traveling on your own, you are crossing the border with your car. Here, if you are crossing with your car, usually or you are traveling by plane, at the cross of border, what the regulation says is that it's exempt of custom duty and VAT and custom declaration. They are not really exempt. You do it by conduct. I have explained before. The common or usual baggage of a traveler. And this is one of the points that some custom officers understand in one way and some others in other sense, because there is not an exactly amount, there are not an exactly definition of how much or how many goods can I take with me without making a custom declaration or without paying duty. The only definition we have in the law, in the custom regulation, is the common baggage carried by a traveler. I have had this argument with a lot of custom officers, because people come in, especially people come in with their own cars, because when you send by a company transporting or by courier, you are not a traveler. You can be here and you received the goods, but never is a baggage of a traveler. A baggage of a traveler is when you are bringing your goods with your own car in your inside. Usually, the custom officers accept when you are carrying normal goods in your car, that is your luggage, your baggage. And they usually don't ask you to make an import declaration or whatever. But I have had some situation and some clients that were carrying, for example, with a van, and they are carrying a motorbike or a quad or a very expensive electronic or computer equipment. This and then if the custom officers notice that, they can tell to you, sir, lady, this is not the common luggage of a traveler, because usually a traveler doesn't carry with him a quad or a motorbike or expensive tools or expensive computer equipment. That's one of the points you must have on your mind. You can pass through without doing nothing and without paying nothing. Always, you are driving your own car or you are traveling by plane with your own baggage. Always the goods you can demonstrate or you can show to the custom officers, if you are required, that is the common luggage, the common baggage any traveler can carry with him. Okay, and that's one of the points quite confusing. I have an argument with Santander Custom past week about this, because sometimes it's clear it's a baggage, sometimes it's clear it's not a baggage, and sometimes we are in the gray line that is not easy to know, and very often the people finish paying some VAT and some custom duties. When you are not traveling on your own, but you are giving the transport to a company or a courier or post office, always they send usually the goods to their hub overseas here in Spain. This is usually a private warehouse, it's not a public one. They have the authorization to keep the goods before making the custom entry. And that caused a lot of doubts, and I have read a lot of doubts at Facebook because of this. What happens here? When the parcels arrive, I am going to talk now thinking about post-service process or DHL process, UPS process, FedEx process. All of them work similar. They put all the parcels or all the goods into a big warehouse, usually centralized in Spain. Correos, the postal service, has the service at Madrid, in a big warehouse at Madrid. DHL have several. One of them is in Alicante, one of them is in Vitoria. DHLs are are in different cities. They have 10 or 12 all over Spain. UPS usually do it at Valencia or at Vitoria. They have set up that hubs, and the goods are there with all custom in temporary storage. Is the status of the goods before making the custom entry. Following the law, you have 90 days to make the import declaration. 90 days. But commercially, the transport companies, DHL, UPS, Correos, or postal service, has different time limits to turn back the parcels to the UK. I have read some of them give you 7 days. Crazy. In 7 days is difficult. Sometimes to attend. Well, nearly all times to attend in 7 days. DHLs, I think they usually fix 30 days. Correos I think usually 30 days too. And you are worried about it. Why are they turning back and sending back my parcel to the UK? The reason is that following the custom regulation, they have 90 days. If in 90 days they have not imported the goods, they have the obligation to send them back to the UK. But commercially, they can fix the time they want, because it's their service. If you want, you contract them. If you don't want, you don't contract them. So that argument or that conversation is difficult to have with them, because usually they are big companies, in fact, and you don't have anyone to claim. You have a computer, you have a quite bad phone service, and you are under the general conditions or contracting. Usually you don't take care of that, but before doing the service, you are on your right or asking if how much time have I got to make the import entry, and choose the company or the service more interesting for you. And this is a point that usually no one worries about until you find the problem, and they give you 10 days to make the import entry, or if not, we will send back to origin. Anyway, and I know usually they say 10 days or 30 days, but really they don't do it in 10 or 30 days. They usually take a little longer. It's a way to press people to make the imports and to pay or send the documents fast, because they have problems of room in the warehouses. If before Brexit, the median of the average of the time that a parcel was in the warehouse was of 4 days or 3 days, now with Brexit, the average time, the median time, the one parcel is in the warehouse is of 12, 30, 40 days or 10 days. What does that cause? The warehouses haven't got room enough, and they need to short the time to press to the parcels to go fast, because they don't have room enough. Again, this is not a new situation because of Brexit, but because we have been seeing that at customs, I mean, in the past, before Brexit. The electronic, the e-commerce is growing every day at 20%, at 25%, at 30% every year. And the courier and the post service, custom services are completely collapsed usually. Together with Brexit, the situation has become worse, because the number of parcels have grown with a needing of custom entry, of a custom work, and they don't have personnel enough, especially in some moments of the year, especially in Christmas, especially in Black Friday, especially in the important days of the year, of the consume dates of the year. They are completely collapsed. Is because of Brexit? Not all because of Brexit. It's because of Brexit, the part of we need to make an import entry for the parcels, but two, is because the growing and growing and growing of every year average of the e-commerce. So I doubt quite repeat how much time I have. In theory, by law, 90 days. In practice, some companies are fixing a shorter time because of these problems I have just explained. Once the custom import entry is done, you have your parcel or you have your goods in free circulation within Europe, and the company sends to you. Doesn't matter if it's a courier or other transport company, the goods can go ahead. What that means? Making import and custom declarations complete. That means that you need an import entry, and that's a custom job. It's a custom work. So they usually invoice for that. There is a problem that most of the time, and for small deliveries, you are paying the minimum rates. And as when you apply minimum rates, always are very expensive, because if you are making the import entry of goods with a value of €5, they apply the minimum rate, €20, and you are paying four times the value of the goods for the minimum rates of the imports. As explained, never would common baggage usually carries by travelers. You must pay the custom duty depending on goods and its origin, because each kind of goods have a different custom duty, and follow the agreement between UE and the UK. All the goods with UK origin are duty exempt. Talking about custom duty, never VAT, custom duty. you pay custom duty. But you need to justify. The custom is not talking about goods coming from UK. Custom is talking about goods manufactured at UK. The origin rules, what was quite published by the politicians when we signed the agreement about we are not going to have custom duty between UK and Europe, is talking about goods manufactured at the UK or goods manufactured at the UE. Imagine you have, I have a lot of clients doing that, shoes imported from Asia at the UE or imported from Asia at the UK. They have not, if I resend, if I make a cross-docking and I resend the goods to the UK, that shoes are not UE origin. They come from UE, but they are not UE origin. They are Vietnam origin or China origin. That's the point, and that's happened a lot with electronic devices. A computer usually is not manufactured at the UK. A TV usually is not manufactured at the UK. A car, depending on the brand. So many people is confused. Why? I am paying custom duty if this computer comes from UK. Yes, it comes from UK, but it has not UK origin, or you can't prove it. Always you have a bad payment, usually 21%. Not always, because food, for example, have a 10%. Okay, food is very problematic anyway, because of other reasons. Usually 21% of that upon the value of the goods and the cost of the transport and the insurance. That's the law. You must apply the 21% upon the value of the goods plus custom and insurance up to UE border. That's other doubt usually people have. If these goods have a value of 10 euros, why, when they apply the 21%, for me are 5 euros? In theory, should be 2.1 upon 10 euros. The reason is that the company must add to the basis the cost of the transport and the cost of the insurance. It's mandatory here and in the UK, in both parts. Usually they invoice for all these tasks. And there are some goods that more than paying duties, they must pay as well, have some SPS controls, sanitary and phytosanitary controls in both parts, here in the UK. The sanitary control usually affects to food. The veterinary control usually affects to food for animals or for the animals. The pharma control applies for all the things the people use for his health, not only pharma products, but to creams, tanned creams, anything you can, it has an effect in human body. And the phytosanitary control, when we talk about plants and vegetables. These four are worse than the duties because sometimes they can block the deliveries. You have a minimum exchange rate. If you are you suffer some illness and you have some pharma products to treat it, if you justify it, you can get them into. But they're always problematic goods. And last, sometimes you have custom check-ins. You never know if you are, as a custom broker, you never know if one good is going to have a custom check-in or not. You don't know because the custom gives you the control they want to do when you present the custom entry. When you have the goods, you present the custom entry, usually electronically, and then the custom said to you, I want to check, I don't want to check. So sometimes it's a little bit unpredictable if you are going to have a custom check-in or not. At the UK, there is a leave of custom check-in from the 1st of January 2021, but they are going to start the control the 1st of July. I don't know what level, what percentage of the delivery will be checked, but we are alerted by the UK Gov that from 1st of July, custom check-ins will start. Examples. There is a huge range, hundreds and hundreds of different custom positions to classify the goods, and depending on those positions, the custom duty change. For personal effects, the HS code, some courier and some transport company maybe can ask you about it, and you don't know what is HS code you have. It's normal. The custom code for personal effects is 99050000. The UK tariff and the general tariff is O, but it's under 21% of VAT. Here we arrive to the extension of value. I will try to send to you or to Richard some some internet pages with some information. I am sorry, they are in Spanish. They are translating. The Spanish tax authority is translating the web page. Some of them are in English available now. Some of them, when you push, you see a screenshot saying that the page is still being translated. But this one here, you have the removing of your company or residence or others. Here you have the exemptions or the situation when you can apply for VAT and duty exemption. And this is one of the main doubts every British people have. You have an exemption because of moving your professional activity. Not very often, and companies usually are informed. Because of change of residence, and this one is one of the main problems you are facing. When you are moving from the UK to UE, here in Spain, we have a lot of British community, especially at the Mediterranean area. You can apply, you really can apply for an exemption for your goods, for your staff, for when you move from the UK to here. But when you move, not for a second residence. It's only an exemption when you are moving to UK. You are finishing living at UK anymore, and you are registering here. What do you need? You need to prove, well, more than the registration at the patron in your new city, the residencia permission, and your ID card, your NIE. You must justify that you have been living at the UK more than 12 months. That's the first requirement. And that you are finishing living there and starting living in Spain. For nearly all the countries of the world, we have this justification very easy, because the consulate issues a certificate and they write it. These people has stopped living in UK anymore and now is going to move to Spain. And most of the consulates do that. I think the associations should push your consulates to do it, because when the consulate do that for other countries, for Switzerland, for example, there isn't any doubt. What's the problem? That the British consulate doesn't issue that kind of certificate. So the custom give us some alternative proofs, especially they ask you about communication with 𝐻RMC, communication with National Health System, communications with your council, communications of the school of the children, communication with official banks, official or as official as possible organism or companies at the UK, to show you are going out you're moving from the UK. That's the main problem we are having. Some of you have asked if it's possible, if you have some document left because you still don't have the residencia permission, or you still don't have the patron because you don't have it still, if you can do it. Actually, you can do it. And that's a lack of my profession. The people of the custom agents are not informed properly. Some of them because they are not interested in doing it, some of them because of lack of knowing or for understanding of the situation. Because you can make the import entry and give to the custom afterwards, up to 6 months afterwards, the rest of the document you don't have at the moment of the import. Usually the custom brokers ask you about the money in deposit, because we need to warranty that, because in front of custom Spanish tax authority. And when you give us all the documents, we close the file with the custom authority and we are refunded, and we refund you. So when there is some document left, it's possible to do it. It's possible to do it. Usually they will ask to you to the money in deposit, and when you have the complete documentation, we apply to customs and we get refunded. Here in the web page,
how much time do you have? Because you're already going, so we can start with the questions and answers. Do you have?
Yeah, I am going to go fast.
Slides?
Sorry?
Do you have many more slides, or how much do you have?
No, I am finishing. I want to show you this web page. Okay. I will send to Richard, because we have to, because of marriage and because en el inglés como es herencias, because of
inheritance, yeah,
inheritance, and we have to an exemption because of people coming for a study. The import of vehicles, I want to explain too. The import of vehicles is you can drive in up to 6 months with your UK plates. It's not a problem. But when the time limit expire, when the 6 months expires, you have the obligation of registered here the car, or going back to the UK or to other country, or register the car in front of traffic authority here. So you can drive with your car. No one is going to ask you to pay nothing or to make an import entry. But before going to the traffic authority to register and get your Spanish plates, they are going to ask you to give them a custom import. And you need to pay 10%, usually for vehicles, plus 21% of VAT. Upon the value of the used car, not the new car, okay? Talking about what are you paying, there are a lot of doubts about why I am paying 50 euros. I have this photo is from the Facebook, one of the doubts of the people at Facebook. As you see, here they are invoicing to you. For a goods that has a value of 28 euros, they are invoicing 20 euros.35 for the import declaration. They are invoicing 4.86 for manipulation expensive. I don't know what does it mean. And as they are pharma products, they put expenses for inspection. Para aduanero are the service working together with custom, but not really custom, at the pharma control, for example. And they invoice 18 euros more. And the VAT upon all this. At the end, 52.28 euros for goods with a value of 28 euros.
Can I interrupt just for a second? Does that mean that you are paying tax on tax?
I am quite surprised, because Correos here doesn't point that you are paying VAT, and you should be paying it, because from the 1st of July of 2021, and that's one of the second problem together with Brexit we are facing, and not only for UK, but for all over the world. All goods before July, goods with a low value, didn't pay nothing. Cards, goods with a value less than 22 euros, very small parcels. But that system changed in the 1st of July of past year. Now all parcels must pay. Only VAT. There is a duty exemption for parcels or for deliveries that for less than 150 euros, you don't have custom duties for goods less than 150, but you have VAT for all. because at the online, at the e-commerce has grown too much, the European Union has noticed that there is a lack of taxes being paid. When the e-commerce was small, they didn't they wasn't worried about it. But nowadays, the 30% of the purchases are online, and now, despite for each parcel is a very few amount of money, for the whole e-commerce we have nowadays, there is a big piece of cake to eat, and they have noticed that, and now every delivery are paying VAT, all them. Because that's the reason I'm quite surprised they don't point exactly here. Maybe they are invoicing in the gastos de gestión, the VAT of that goods. Here below is written the value. This bill includes the importation of this delivery. The value of the goods include the transport and the insurance. All this is written below in Spanish. They are a mess. Correos is a mess, and the courier are a mess. They are completely overworked, and the problem is not because of Brexit. It's because of they are overworked because of Brexit, because the growing of the online commerce, and because of the new regulation from 1st of July that they mandatorily have to make a custom entry for all deliveries, and that has caused that all these kind of company are collapsed. They have overworked, and there are a lot of points more, but we have no time, and I'm going to stop to solve the doubts the audience can have.
Okay, thank you very much, Manuel. A lot of information for all of us. Let me say hello to Michael. Michael.
Hello, Ignacio. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Right, very technical thing, and I'm sure that a lot of people have a lot of questions. We've got on the panel a lot of them. I don't know if Richard wants to try to summarize them from the forum, from Brexpats in Spain, and then because we're running out of time. Richard, would you like to take over? And
yeah, there are. Yeah. If we can get Manuel just to go over a couple of things. I'm going to take an example that's been given to me. Somebody brought some items of clothing, I'm assuming they were new, from the UK for less than £200. So what's that, 220 euros? They paid £50 for delivery. So we're talking 270 euros. They paid 112 euros import duty. Well, the maths, the arithmetic doesn't add up.
More or less, the accounting can be correct, because garments in general, all the fabric and clothes, usually paid quite high duty for any origin, between 10 50%. You need to add VAT for this 21. So maybe depending of if they are shoes or t-shirts, or it's not the same, but an average on the 12% we are going to imagine of custom duty plus 21% of VAT. That is a 33%. 12 plus 21. If we apply 270 plus 33, 90 euros. And if you, more or less, if you add the fees and the custom fees and all this, you have the 112. So okay. it could match. It could match.
Right. Okay.
And the VAT is applied to upon the custom duty. So it will be 270 plus 12%, 32 of custom duty plus VAT. Yeah, more or less 100 euros.
But Manuel, is on new clothes or is it new clothes?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. New clothes usually has a higher value. Used clothes usually you state a lower value because they have actually a lower value.
So what you're saying, you still pay all this, correct?
But the fact that you need to pay is the same.
Is the same.
If you can apply for an exemption of change of residence or for an exemption of of.
And what do you need to prove? What are they requesting for to prove residency? Just the TIE, the residency certificate, or the padron? What are they requesting, the customs?
Correct. The what you have said, TIE, padron and residencia permission.
Okay.
And you must show you have been living at the UK more than 12 months, usually justified with council bills, council taxes, work contracts, easier to demonstrate, and that you are moving to Spain.
To Spain.
As the British consulate doesn't issue a certificate telling that, usually people, what have I seen? Communications to your pension stating that you are going to live in Spain and you want to be paid at Spain. Communication to the national health system. Communications making the matriculation of the children in Spain and stopping the matriculation of the children in the UK. It's not an official document, but it has it's strong to demonstrate. What more? Communication to the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐸, communication your change of tax address. This kind of proofs. We have a freedom of proof, but the freedom in this situation is worse because it's better to know which document in the hell we need and not be as free as we are, because sometimes we don't need, people send us a lot of different documents and we need to value and guess if custom is going to accept or not.
Okay, thank you, Manuel. Richard, will you carry on? I don't know if Pedro or Michael would like to jump in with any questions to Manuel, but feel free. So we just to squeeze our time. Okay, over to you, Richard.
Okay, we've got a chap who comes over regularly. He's a workman, a specialist workman, and he brings over tools with him. Now, on his last visit over, he got charged hundreds of euros of duty on the tools. Now, they are for his work. They are his own tools. Now, I remember going to Australia with my motorbike and I paid a carnet. I did a carnet before I went, which meant I didn't pay import duty on the motorcycle. Is it possible to do a carnet in the UK for somebody who regularly travels like this?
That's the best choice. There is not when you are carrying your tools, never are personal effects because they are professional tools. They are under payment, but there is a simplified process all over the world. The name is ATA carnet, ATA carnet in Spanish, and it's the best choice to deal it. You have several associations at the UK that can issue this kind of carnet. You make a relation of the goods you are carrying with you. They print that carnet. Usually you pay an insurance or you pay a deposit to warranty that the tools are going to go back to the UK. And when you pass through customs, you only need to go to the custom and say, I am a professional, I am traveling with my tools, here you are my ATA carnet. They stamp and you can get into. And they are under temporary import process. When you go back to the UK, you need to stamp again at custom here, a stamp at custom when you arrive at the UK, and you go to the company or to the association or the Chamber of Commerce that have issued that ATA carnet, and you finish the carnet, and you have not paid nothing more than the service of the ATA carnet you have paid at the UK. You don't pay taxes or duties. That's the way to do it. This is very, very common for the professional people, photographers, in the Volvo Ocean Race, for example. All the staff of the Volvo Ocean Race here in Alicante, of the sailing competition, usually is under ATA carnets.
Right, okay, thank you for that. Now, many people carry goods back to the UK. This is British people. They buy in Spain. For instance, I'm traveling to the UK. I'm taking a couple of €1,000 worth of amateur radio equipment, which was bought here. Now, I'm going to take that to the UK for a few weeks and then come back here. Do I need to carry anything to prove this?
Usually, always there is a common baggage of a traveler. Not necessary. If there are your own clothes or moreover a computer. Nowadays, everyone carries a computer or an iPad or whatever. Usually, it's not necessary. Always is the common luggage of a traveler. If you are carrying something that is not the common luggage of a traveler, for example, a quad, a motorbike, bigger goods, yes, I do recommend to do it, because later you can show custom their goods in return. We say at custom, I have a custom declaration of export of my goods, and now I'm coming back. I did the export the past month, and here you are the export to make the re-import duty exempt. Usually, if there is the thing you carry on your baggage is not necessary.
Right. Okay. The people are very worried about the level of the customs being charged on gifts, and if somebody sends you grandchildren, for instance, I've got many comments on this, have sent out a gift that they made for the grandparents, and they're being charged import duty on a gift made by a child.
I have read that. It's crazy. Yes, there is a problem with this, not only with Brexit. I have a client now, is in a university. They usually send books in rent because they have an agreement with universities all over the world to have access to some books and to some study documents, and they have been charged VAT charge for every delivery because of the change. This is not for Brexit, because of Brexit. This is because the change of the system for the low value deliveries disappeared past year. It has no sense at all, but the regulation is like this now because the only exemption you have is for official documents. What happens? That some people, when they close the delivery with the parcel service or with the post service, they point the option that official documents, and they come in without paying nothing. But they are not really official documents. They are photos or whatever. What the problem with this? You send a couple of photos, the value is €5, nothing, but you must add the transport cost, and the transport cost has €20 more. You are in a 25 basis. You apply the 21% of VAT, you have €4 or €5 of VAT, and the minimum rates, as always, 20, 25, and you are paying 30, 40 euros for your grandchildren photos, and it has no sense at all. It has no sense at all. But that's not because of Brexit. That's because of the change of the system that, in my opinion, I have complained in front of custom for a lot of clients. One of them is the library. I have told you, the university, because for some situation it had no sense. And the only exemption we have is for official documents, documents for reports, documents for the government, but not for a common book, for example. Not for a common photography. We don't have an exemption because of that.
If people wish to appeal, how do they do this? What is the process for appealing?
Depending who is working with you. It's difficult because appeal in front of the post service, there is nobody in the other line, in the other side of the phone. You apply. You are attended by an operator that doesn't know too much, and it's quite difficult. And with DHLs and UPS, it's more or less the same. With the parcel services or the post service, is quite difficult to appeal because it's more the value of the time and the effort you need to do it. Because yes, you can contract me, for example, and I can appeal, but I need to invoice you something because I am going to lose 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 hours of my work, and that costs more than the 20 euros or the 30 euros, and that's the real situation when you are under these kind of problems. And the time, the time it takes for them to send the deliveries is crazy, but that's because of they are overworked.
I'm
Okay.
listening. Actually, I don't know if you heard Richard. I heard obviously someone in the radio saying as well that a possibility people buying from, let's say, Amazon or all these things. If you buy from the UK and Amazon UK and you send it to Spain, obviously it's got a custom charge. But if you buy through the Spanish or European platform, that wouldn't happen. And sometimes they say they've got the same products. Have you heard of this, Manuel? I mean, is a good
In
system.
theory, yes. In fact, as all the online companies and services are very strong, Amazon, for example, they are making lobby, and we have a new regulation called marketplaces that they can handle the import duties, and they can, in fact, invoice to you the VAT on behalf of the real supplier that is in the UK. That makes things easier, but you are charged anyway because they are charging you the 21% VAT.
Right.
And some platforms are starting, because it's quite a new system. It's for past year too, and some platforms are starting working in this sense. Sometimes you don't know where the parcels come from. You buy you buy through internet
Online,
and you don't know if the parcel come from Spain, from UK, or from the US. You really don't know.
But do you think it will be cheaper that way if we buy through different platforms because of the system? It is, because if, let's say, Richard, you just buy from Amazon.uk and just been delivered in Spain, is one system. But if Richard gets the same product through Amazon,
yes,
sure. in Europe,
I now, Ignacio, I now have Amazon Prime in Germany, because the German Amazon Prime is equivalent to the UK in terms of the goods, whereas there are far less goods in Amazon Spain. So I use the German one, and it's cheaper.
Yeah. As you are buying here, you are supposed to be sent the goods from inside the UE. Most of big platforms are starting with the system I have explained to you, in order to be able to send goods anywhere, because for Amazon it's a problem too, a big problem.
I noticed there's a question come in. You may want to answer. It's not on customs.
Say it again, Richard.
Somebody's asked a question, Marie Lou, but it's not on customs, but you may want to answer it for her.
If just let's move on the customs side while I'll read what she says, but we have so many questions here that I don't know if Pedro or Michael wants to add anything here to the custom questions to Manuel.
Okay, well, thank you, Manuel. I've been listening to you very focused, and I've been learning a lot of what you say. I have one question, because we have clients that also perform resident, changing the resident into Spain, and also bringing as you have said, the cars. It's included, I understand it's included also boats. What if they bring boats from the UK? Or what if they buy a boat in Spain and they put a UK flag, and some years after they bring the boat back to the UK? How does it work, the import duty or the value add tax in these cases?
Always is around the same point. It's about the plate, the matriculation, because usually all vehicles have a time limit. They are supposed to be in temporary imports. When you bring a car or a boat, it's the same, from the UK to Spain, you can use it usually in a time limit of 6 months. And if you want to continue using it more than 6 months, you need to go to the traffic authority and register it. That's the reason custom at the border says to you, okay, you don't need to do nothing. You make a declaration, and temporary import declaration by conduct with any document. Because I know if you, in your time limit of 6 months, don't make the registration at traffic, and in order to do it, you need the custom document, the police is going to penalty you. So it's controlled or not controlled, because I am making import for British car coming here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because if you don't have a problem with the police, no one notices it. But when people has been concerned because of Brexit, has informed, and a lot of people have said, okay, oh my God, I haven't registered my car. And when they go to register it, they ask them about the import documentation, and they should pay. And for the boats, it's the same.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, would you like to add anything else before we go?
Oh, it's great listening to Manuel. He's such an expert. It's just a shame that all these people are having all these problems all because of Brexit. It's unbelievable.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Richard, any very last question here for Manuel? I know you might be getting on your forum a lot of them, but any other general question that Manuel could answer? Otherwise, you guys could refer direct to Manuel. His email address, he just put it, but we can mention here in the chat. I don't know if Manuel knows how to put his email address here in the chat.
I am going to write it.
Yes, if you could please, and send it to all the people listening.
And I have shared before, but in the presentation.
And Pedro, Michael, and Richard, if you please would send the email just in case they want. They have questions in Andalusia, Alicante, or in the Association for Brexpats. Okay.
Yeah,
Anything else, Richard?
Yes, well, one, just to confirm, if you got a letter coming to you, Manuel, maybe a wedding invitation, which is one of the questions that somebody's raised, and they got charged €6, and all it was a wedding invitation in an envelope.
Best point, and I will deny having said this. When you close the delivery point, this is an official document, and you will be tax exempt.
Right. Okay.
It's not an official document really, but a wedding is quite an official thing, but it's not a official document of a government or something like that. But pointing that you don't pay. But if you don't pay, it's an official document. You will pay very few money, but you will pay.
Okay.
It has no sense, I know, but it's this way.
Well, to be honest, none of this is making much sense. I've got to be honest.
No.
I mean, it's very important for people to value now every time they need to go through this process and how much it's going to cost them, because I'm sure, Richard, people are going to start looking for solutions. I mean, a lot of the goods will not happen. The citizens will change habits, and because nobody wants to throw money just for nothing, you know, and that's the bottom line. Yeah.
The problem is that custom regulation are not written thinking about individuals or non-commercial movements. They are written thinking in commercial ones. And when you apply some of the criteria upon people, it had no sense.
All right then. Okay. Well, thank you very much, all of you, for your patience with this topic and problems for us to understand. We're going to hold another webinar, Richard, in two weeks' time about the non-lucrative visa questions that you say you're having a lot of them, and the tax scenarios as well. And we'll be doing a lot more regular. Okay, so Manuel, thank you very much for sharing knowledge with our audience and ourselves. Thank you, Richard, for your support all the time. Michael from Almeria, Andalusia, and Pedro from Alicante, thank you for spending the hour of your time. I know you guys are very, very busy, but I'm grateful. We still carry on doing these things. I'm going to leave you with Juanfran, and I'm going to see you hopefully in 2 weeks' time. Okay, so thank you very much, all of you. Over to Juanfran.
Bye.
Trust is vital when you're in another country. If you want to buy a home, set up business relationships, or apply for a residence permit, you need to be able to count on the best independent legal aid. Pellicer and Heredia is an international firm of lawyers with over 20 years experience and one single aim: for you to live at ease in Spain. In order to give you a clear, streamlined, and fast response, we work with a cross-disciplinary team of professionals specializing in the main legal fields: civil law, foreigners' affairs, business law, tax and financial law, and international law. And to ensure that you're kept informed and up to date with everything, we have 6 offices on the Eastern Coast. Whether you're from here or abroad, we will always stand by you and speak your language. Our relationship is based on openness, professionalism, and a commitment to finding legal solutions in your best interests and for your peace of mind. Pellicer and Heredia, international lawyers.